First of Black Ops. You see it. Let's get it. Let's go over it. Um, Reading from Thread Post, the CISA attack, Fallout, CISA, FBI offer guidance. Once again, this is a solar winds type, huge type attack. There's thousands of companies that are down. So let's kind of go through the article. I'm going to add my 2 cents of where I thought we failed and maybe we should have could have done something to actually, I guess, prevent it. First thing is after solar winds, everybody should have did an incident response, did a postmortem to figure out for software like this that does monitoring and alerting with those agents that are on those machines. What's the privileges on those machines? Are they giving them admin, read write? So we should have did an assessment of what type of attack or what type of issues will we have if that happened again. So it seems like a lot of companies didn't go through that postmortem or go through that exercise to figure out what would happen if a large scale attack once again hits every server. So let's get in the article. Following a brazen ransomware attack by Revil Cybergang, once again, CISA and FBI offer guidance to victims. The Revil Cybergang is taking credit for Friday's massive ransomware attack against managed service provider Kaseya Limited. The criminals behind the attack claimed it affected 1 million systems tied to the Kaseya server. So once again, 1 million systems tied to that service. And for that, they're demanding $70 million in Bitcoin in exchange for the decryption keys. Federal authorities put the number of affected companies in the thousands. The attack is massive, considered the single biggest global ransomware attack on record. Affected are financial services, travel, leisure, public sector companies, and across 17 countries. A Swiss grocery Coop is reported was forced to close 800 stores for more than 2 days because the cash register software supplier was impacted by the attack. In a related development, the United States federal agency known as Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, and Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, offered assistance to those affected by the sweeping attack. Kiska attack believed that impacted as many as 1,000 firms when attackers target multiple firms known as managed service providers, which manage a network of other firms. In the case of Friday's Kiska attack, over 1,000 companies are believed to be impacted by some way by the ransomware. So, which is good. A lot of people are actually outsourcing their networking and their monitoring, which aka the managed server provider. But once you do that, though, right, if they get attacked, you're attacked, right? So that's one of the negatives of turning that service or capabilities over to a third party company. So you need to vet your third parties very well. Do they have the capabilities of handling a widespread attack? Do they have the capacity to handle that? If they got 1,000 customers and they just clicking buttons, so if they get hit, how are they? Do they have the capacity to scale up to handle that broad of an attack? Rival Cybergang once again takes credit. On Sunday, the prolific cybergame known as Revil posted matches on a hacker forum taking credit for it. It said, we launched an attack on MSP providers. More than 1 million systems were infected. If anyone wants to negotiate about the universal decryptor, our price is 70,000 in Bitcoin. We will publish the public decryptor that decrypts files of all victims, so everyone will be able to recover from attack in less than an hour. If you are interested in such a deal, contact using victims' README file instructions. According to the detailed analysis of the attack by Kaspersky, the gang, also known as Chernobyl, has been active since April 2019. After the Grand Crab Cybergame disbanded, the Revil Ransomware has been advertised as an underground forum for 3 years. It is one of the most prolific ransomware as a service operation, researcher knows. So that's key, ransomware as a service. You can buy like you buy an AWS or Azure. You can actually rent ransomware. Just throw them your credit card and they'll get you started. CISA and FBI offer guidance in a statement released by FBI Saturday. The agency announced a coordinated investigation with CISA about the attack. We encourage who all might be affected to employ the recommended mitigations for users that follow Kaspersky guidance to shut down VS servers immediately. As always, we stand ready to assist any impacted entities. The following day, FBI updated its guidance, encouraging impacted companies to follow newly developed mitigation and report the attack to the agency. If you feel your system has been compromised as a result of Kaseya software incident, we encourage you to employ all recommended mitigations, following the guidance for Kiska and CISA to shut down your visit service immediately and report your compromise to the FBI at IC3Gov. So that's the big thing, and I think companies need to communicate. I think all companies need to actually report it to the FBI. But once again, you showing your dirty laundry. You showing that you probably didn't have the proper architecture, the proper guidance, or the proper incident response. Ready to go for an attack this big. CISA and FBI guidance is MSP and kits of victims. Mitigation recommended are posted on the system. Download the Kaseya VS detection tool. This tool analyzes a system, either via servers or a managed endpoint, determine whether any indicators of compromise are present. Encourage and enforce multi-factor authentication on every single account that is under the control of the organization in the maximized extent possible. Enable and enforce MFA customer-facing service. Implement all listings to limit communication with remote monitoring and management capabilities to known IP addresses and pairs. Place administrator interface on RMN behind a virtual private network or firewall dedicated administrative network. So, of course, MFA, that should be already in progress. Most companies are using MFA. Since it's a managed service, those IPs are the only ones should be communicating in and out from your server on a place interface of RM behind a virtual firewall. So when you go to manage those endpoints, you should be doing it from a management interface and manage accounts, and only those management interface and IPs should be able to deal with the Kiska account and Kiska agents. On Sunday, President Joe Biden ordered the United States intelligence to investigate the ransomware attack. Biden said his and other agencies were not certain who was behind the attack. The initial thinking was it was not Russia, but we were not sure. Analysis of the attack. The analysis of the attack by Kaspersky said attackers attacked system by first deploying a malicious dropper via PowerShell script, which was executed through Kiska software. The script disabled Microsoft Defender endpoint for endpoint protection features and then uses the CRT utility to decode the malicious executable agent exe that drops a legitimate Microsoft binary in the older version, Microsoft Defender, which is the Revil Ransomware. So if you're using Microsoft Defender and you disable the Microsoft Defender, that workstation or server should have been quarantined. Microsoft Defender takes a percentages of what's on that server and what happened. So if that software was not enabled and you were nacked, it should have known that Microsoft Defender was disabled. So it actually should have quarantined that machine. So I think I'm going to go live and actually break down each one of those at a high level, how to defend against that. Once again, Kiska attack, Fallout, CISA and FBI offering guidance. And the Rebel Cybergang, once again, is asking for $70 million in Bitcoin to get the encryption key. $70 million in Bitcoin. Sometime I think I'm on the wrong side of this, people. Once again, Professor Black Ops, cybersecurity for the people. Let's get the bag.